You know what? Let's move on to the Detroit Lions, and screw you, Spenny, as well, because of what you put in the
what did I do? Oh, yeah.
in the show sheet. Is Flannel going to be rooting for Mahomes or the Lions this weekend? That's the age-old question that's going to be asked until the end of time for Woodward Sports shows that I am going to be on. But seriously, Sean Beligian, I know your view on preseason. I know that you're not a fan.
It's a correct view.
And I would agree with you on that. Is there anything worth watching Saturday versus the Chiefs?
By the way, Flannel doesn't live too far from me. There already is red and yellow smoke coming from his home. So that means the candles and incense are burnt. He will be worshiping at the Mahomes altar tomorrow. You know what? Honestly, if this plays out the way the coaches are talking, I'm kind of intrigued to watch Kansas City's ones against what Detroit puts out there. I'm intrigued. Now, Dan says he's not going to go with the starters a lot. Let's wait and see if that maybe changes. You know, he has a talk with Andy before the game, and really? You're going to throw your ones out there for the majority of the half? Maybe I'm going to put some of my ones out there. That would be intriguing to watch. I mean, there's no doubt about it. Listen, I kind of feel like a hypocrite because I'm the guy. I have done this for years. There is next to nothing to take from these games. Like, the sooner you get it through the head, the better off your life will be. But at the same time, I can't wait for tomorrow afternoon. Like, honestly, I mean that. It's exciting to me. I want to watch it. It's football. I get it. It's preseason football. But that would be an intriguing aspect. If he goes with his ones, as long as he says he's going to, all right, how might the Lions counter that? Yeah, I'm intrigued to see how that is.
That would be – I don't know how I feel about that. Letting Andy Reid and what he does with his team dictate what the Lions do. But at the same time, we never know how it's going to play out. KG, you echoed that statement. Are you looking forward to watching anything with this preseason game?
Maybe just more of the defense. I think some of the young guys will get some run, some more Rakestraw and Terry Arnold. I'm always, a supporter of that. But, yeah, absolutely. They don't need to put their starters out just because the Chiefs are putting their starters out. That's the dumbest thing I ever heard. It's all about getting the guys that you need to get work in, have them get the work in the preseason, and they'll be fine.
Yeah, and one of the things that I really enjoyed watching about the last preseason game, and it wasn't much because it was absolutely terrible football, but Broderick Martin having himself a game.
Thank you.
And that's
People
what
slept on him.
Well, as you should, though, after that rookie season. I know it's developmental, but he's somebody who the burden of proof is on him. And I look at that defensive line. I look at that as a situation, a position group in which you're going to need some depth pieces. Guys like Levi Onwuzurike, who may be even more than a depth piece. A guy like Josh Paschal. A guy like James Houston, who really struggled a bit during his time at the Sam linebacker in the preseason. A Mekhi Wingo. Those are the players that I'm looking forward to watching more because you're going to need these guys, especially if DJ Reader or Aleem McNeil, Marcus Davenport go down for any period of time or even just as rotational pieces.
So doesn't that only counter what I'm saying? You're building to my point. I want to see those guys. Who better to compare yourself against than Mahomes in the one? They're the Super Bowl champion. He is Flannel TM. One of one.
Yep.
Yes, I want to see how those guys do. And you don't necessarily, that doesn't mean that you throw the ones out on the offense. Who gives a crap? We know what this offense is going to be.
It's 3 years in.
I feel totally confident in that. But to me, it's, okay, Casey's going to roll with the ones on offense. Well, let's see how the defense does. And those guys that you mentioned are all those defensive pieces. So I guess we're on the same page here because, yes, that's what I'm intrigued about. How are they going to perform? I don't give a crap if it's Len Dawson or Chad Henne or whoever it is. Bring back Trent Green. I don't give a crap who it is. If Patrick Mahomes and those ones are out there, yes, I want to see those pieces in action against that group.
Hey, that Len Dawson to Otis Taylor connection in Super Bowl IV, that was absolutely electric. But
Hank Stram loved every second of it.
Keep matriculating the ball down the field, boys.
You got it.
But, yeah, it's – I don't want to see, like, the starters of the starters out there today, like the Goffs or the Aiden Hutchinsons or the Panays. But, yeah, to your point, I'm talking about guys who could play significant snaps on the defensive line.
You got it.
And the reason why I'm not as concerned about guys like Terrion Arnold or Ennis Rakestraw moving forward, because we saw that they looked like they belonged in that first preseason game. I think there's more questions about the depth on this defensive line, especially with a guy like John Kaminsky going down. And you never know how important or unimportant that's going to be moving forward. Spenny, what are you looking for?
Sorry, Cindy Sweeney just posted a picture, and she's got cake out of nowhere. So
As you were, if you need be.
I'm looking for, hopefully, Levi. I'd like to see Levi get out there a little bit. This is a guy that they've been hyping up all camp. This is a guy they've been talking about, looking like he's going to be the real deal, looking like he's taking a step forward, looking like he's the guy that they drafted in the second round because he has an aptitude of getting to the quarterback. I would like to see that against Patrick Mahomes. I would like to see that against the Kansas City starting offensive line, against a guy like Creed Humphrey. So, again, I'm with you. I don't need to see Hutchinson. I don't need to see Jared Goff. I don't even want to see Amik Robertson out there because the secondary is already getting a little thin. So I would like to see that defensive line, maybe some linebacker work. Throw Jack Campbell in there a little bit. Throw Derek Barnes out there, and let me see some of those guys on the defensive line like Josh Paschal and Levi Onwuzurike.
What if I gave this hypothetical on yesterday's Wake Up Woodward show. Shout out to KG and Kool-Aid who are in the house right now.
Yes, sir.
What if Levi Onwuzurike actually plays like that $20 million a year defensive tackle that Kevin Zeitler hinted at?
Right.
I'm not saying he will. I'm not saying he's a guy that the Lions are necessarily going to re-sign. But for this year, if Levi Onwuzurike is even a fraction of the guy that they drafted him to be back in 2021, that could be one of those under-the-radar missing pieces to a Super Bowl team. And I've said this many, many times. Levi Onwuzurike was a better prospect than Aleem McNeil.
Yes, he was.
Levi Onwuzurike is somebody who is now as healthier than he's been in many, many years, and you can point to a nagging back issue as to maybe why he wasn't as productive as the Lions would have hoped, or why he wasn't as available as the Lions and us fans would have hoped. If he's that guy, especially if DJ Reader misses week 1, week 2, this, like I said, those under-the-radar little pieces to Super Bowl teams, it could be Levi O.
You are spot on. And I mean, I've talked about it with you guys, whether it be you or Spenny or KG, many times in the past few weeks. That is my concern, that unit. Okay, and then you add Kaminsky's injury on top of it. We all know it has to be better. If you really want to unleash the next level that many of us, I would say all of us, think Aiden Hutchinson have, give him a little help. And I'm not even saying it has to manifest itself. I'll use the same analogy that I did before. In Ndamukong Suh, it didn't manifest itself with bombastic numbers. Oh, Suh had 25 sacks.
Yeah.
It manifested itself in watching other guys blow up because you legitimately had to put 2 and 3 guys on that guy, down in, down out. And then all of a sudden, Cliff Averill, who should send him Christmas cards for the rest of his days, Cliff Averill turns into an absolute stud. So I'm with underrated, great point on your part.